They did what now? I'm going to be talking to you all about something that everyone that has ever had a job has experienced. Worst job experiences. Of course, some of these may be just completely like, oh my God, harsh, awkward, embarrassing, you name it. And so I'm going to give y'all 5. So story number 5. So I'm working on a Sunday morning and this lady comes in and she is pissed. Like, you could see it in her face. She's walking mad and stuff. And I'm just like, oh Lord Jesus, what am I about to experience? And she goes up to me yelling. Her sandwich is wrong, I guess. I don't know. Something happened. And she's just having a fit. And I'm like, okay, well, I can give you a refund. And she's like, no. And, and I'm like, okay, well, we can redo your sandwich. She's like, no. And I'm like, then why the heck are you yelling at me? Like, what do you want? And she's like, I want a manager. And I'm like, okay, well, we actually don't have any managers at the moment, but I can help you the best that I can. And she's just like, no, no, no. And I'm like, And so my other coworker tries to, chime in and help. And the lady is just yelling louder. And so we actually had to get on our phone and dial on one of our cell phones the manager. And he's talking to her and she's like, you know who I am and this and that. You messed up my sandwich. And she's just having a fit. And he was, okay, ma'am, he said what I said. We can give you a refund. We can, remake the sandwich. We can give you, something extra for the trouble. And she's just yelling and yelling. And then all of a sudden, she backs up and starts walking around in the restaurant yelling, they have rats. They have rats in here. And I was like, okay, first of all, ma'am, is what I was thinking, I was like, if we had rats in here, I would not be working. Like, no, ma'am, I would not be here. And I don't think my coworkers would be here either. Like, no, thank you. And she's just walking around saying they have rats. And people are like, what? Okay, I think we would be shut down if we had rats. At least I hope we'd be shut down if we had rats. No offense to the company, but that is disgusting. Anyways, eventually, long story short, she calmed down. And Johanna was like, so how was church today, ma'am? And she's like, oh, but baby, it was amazing. It was, the Lord presence. And we were like, oh, yeah, okay. So you did, so you are Christian, right? Okay. Just wanted to clarify. It was like funny, but also like what? Okay, everyone, just really quickly, if you're that kind of person, like, please just, don't make a fool of yourself and cause an unneeded disturbance and stress upon those around you, whether it be the workers, the people that are eating, the people that are just, walking around. Like, it's really ridiculous. You look ridiculous. Just stop. You're ridiculous, okay? And also these workers, we took your order. We didn't make it, so stop yelling at us. And even if we made it, I'm pretty sure the cooks didn't do that on purpose. Possibly. So honestly, and I'm not going to give you a free cookie. Okay. Anyways, story number 4. So I am working. This is how I got my first job, okay? I just turned 16 and I was so happy because I've been wanting a job since I was 14. I turned in an application and she gave me free Cinnabon. And I got the job 2 weeks later. So it's a Sunday morning and I'm working. This guy has come in. He has came into the restaurant several times before. He's kind of creepy, whatever. I usually try to ignore it. Well, this time he came up to me to take his order and I'm like, hi, welcome to whatever. How can I help you? And my manager's next to me and he was like, this is what I want, medium sandwich. And I'm like, okay. And then he was like, so you watching the game today? And I was like, I don't know, maybe. I don't know if I'm working late or not. He was like, I can take you home. You want to go home with me tonight? And I was like, first of all, I was 16, barely 16. And he's in his 30s. Some creepy 30-year-old. What the hell is your problem? Such a pedophile. And my manager's just like, and I was like, no, you can't. He was like, well, you have a really beautiful smile. And then he walks away and I'm like, you forgot your receipt. It was awful. It was embarrassing. It was just so chills just thinking about it. Anyways, that happened. Story number 3. So to me, this next story is really ridiculous. And if it's not ridiculous to you and you would do the same thing to me, what they did, then you need to reevaluate your life because honestly, it's pathetic. Okay, so I am working. We get this new machine. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. Brand new. I think it was the day of or the day after that we got it. You know, no training, which you didn't really need training because it was straightforward. And of course, I was doing it all day. And the guy that owns the actual building, the franchisor or whatever, comes in and he's just always until he gets to know you, then he's nice. But I'm still like, I know you're a bad person because you yell at every new person. And I messed up with the drink, and of course, when he's right behind me, it overspills like that much. No joke. Look, literally, that's all. It was just like it overspilled a little bit, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to clean up the cup, and he used the same one, of course, and he's like, what did you just do? You just cost me 10 cents. That is 10 cents. Oh my gosh, and he's like so frustrated. He's lashing out on me. I wanted to reach in my pocket, get a dime, and chunk it on his face. Just throw it at him. I was like, you know what? That is ridiculous. 10 cents? You need to calm down. You need to sit down. Let me pour you a cup of water, throw it on you. Just kidding. Like, it was ridiculous. I was like, and then like I look at drive-through, the customer, and I'm like giving them their drink, and they're like giving me the like, oh, and I'm like, I know. It was just awful, and it was an experience to remember. Like, who is that? Literally. Anyways, story number 2. Once again, I didn't realize, but this story is also taking place at my very first job. And this story takes place around when I just got the job. I remember I was like a little fishy. I was so new. But I was pretty good at what I was doing, and this person wants a refund. I did it. Easy. Like, boom, refund. Okay, ma'am, here's the card. You'll get it back in 2 to 3 days. I guess I shouldn't have said anything because that set her up. She's like, 2 to 3 days. It should be automatic. Like, okay, if y'all have cards, you know that some businesses take 2 to 3 days. The ones that go on your card automatically make us all happy. I know I'm like, oh yeah, but if it's 2 to 3 days, I understand. She was not having it. She's like, what do you mean? And she starts cussing, like, what the F do you mean? This should be on my card. And I'm like, okay, ma'am, I'm sorry. And then her husband, her very kind husband, you should meet him someday, chimes in. And he's like, you stupid effing, blah, blah. And he's just, ugh. And guys, I was tearing up. I've never been yelled at like that before. I'm such a good kid, a good student. I was just as innocent as can be back then. And he's just like lashing out at me. He was like, you trying to steal my money and stuff and this and that. I know you're going to put it in your pocket. And I'm like, but it's your card. Like, okay, I would never do that. And even if I was going to do that, that doesn't exactly work like that with cards, okay? And I'm like, I'm so sorry, this and that. And then I go to their table to give them the food, and they're like, so what are you going to do about our money? Just like, it's going to take 2 to 3 days. There's nothing I could do. And they're still lashing out at me. So I get my manager. And kid you not, he goes up to the guy and says, it'll take 2 to 3 days, sir. I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. That's just the process. He says, oh, okay, thank you, sir. I was like, well, first of all, you're and second of all, you suck. Like, you're so horrible. You have these 2 little kids with you. They're so cute. They look so sweet. And they're just like looking at y'all. And his wife does the, and I'm like, I wanted to slap her. I wanted to punch him. And I hope those kids don't grow up to be like them, because that was awful. And those, like, if you're that kind of person, please change your ways, because that is irrational. There's no reason to ever get that angry. Like, really, you need to reevaluate your life. I'm not joking. Like, that was horrible. And anyways, next story. I mean, they could have at least apologized. See, I'm still mad. I'm rambling. Okay, next. Next story. Story number 1. Juicy. Well, kind of. I don't know. To me, I thought it was. I was like, seriously? I thought I was in a reality TV show. So I get a new job. I literally only worked at this job for 2 weeks. That's how horrible it was. So these workers come in, and one of them teaches me how to do something with the soup. And they're like, okay, so this is the process. This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to load this and dump it and this and that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do that. And then my manager's like, wait, can you clean the tables first? And I'm like, sure. And I go to clean the tables first, right? But before I do that, I put on gloves or something. And then I noticed what the coworkers, like, they were talking to each other. And then some girl was like talking to another coworker, like, this dude sucks. They were talking crap. And then she leaves. And then the other guy comes back and they start talking crap about her. And then another guy leaves. And then they start talking crap. It was ridiculous. I was like, where are the cameras at? Is this real? And so I go to clean the tables. I come back and there's the dude that taught me how to do the soup. His back is turned towards me. And I'm walking towards him, and there he is. Like, that new girl's stupid. I told her to do this and that, and this is still over here. And he was like getting angry, and I was like in my head like, hold up. First off, the manager's the one that told me to stop what I was doing to do that, and I was not. And I was just like, which is probably the most ballsy thing I've ever done, and even that's not even doing much. So it was just an awful experience. Anyways, long story short, anyone like that acts like that is pathetic. And that was actually the last day that I worked there. So yeah, I gave like a 2 weeks notice. No, a 1.5 week notice. I was just so done with that job. It was awful. So anyways, if you like those stories or want to hear more, if you would like, comment, and subscribe down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.